The Menendez brothers' murder case will be the main topic of Monster Season 2, adding a new chapter to the history of American real crime. For Season 2 of Monster, Cooper Koch and Nicholas Alexander Chavez have been cast as Lyle and Eric Menendez, respectively. Season 2 of Monster is anticipated to debut in 2024, adhering to the same release schedule as Season 1. What do we know about Season 2 of Monster? Ryan Murphy's Monster Seasons 2 and 3 are coming soon, following the cultural frenzy that Evan Peters' portrayal of Jeffrey Dahmer sparked in 2022. The documentary Monster followed the life and deeds of infamous American serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, and it used Ryan Murphy's distinctive aesthetic to try and identify the person who is hiding behind the monster's name. The Netflix series was the first to tackle the topic from a genuinely cinematic standpoint, despite the fact that a lot of media outlets have covered the well-known case. Despite being entangled in controversy, Netflix's Monster has received 2 renewals because of its enormous appeal. Monster examined the serial killer's killings in great detail, documenting several of them in real time. The last episode of Monster's first season concluded the subject of serial killers. The second season will center on the murder of the Menendez brothers, a completely different period in American true crime history. The initial casting announcement for Monster Season 2 is the most noteworthy piece of news. Cooper Koch and Nicholas Alexander Chavez have joined Monster Season 2 to portray the infamous brothers Eric and Lyle Menendez, following the revelation that the upcoming season of the anthology series will center on them. Eric will be portrayed by Koch, Power Book 2, Ghost, and Lyle by Chavez, General Hospital. For the relative rookies, Season 2 presents yet another chance to become stars. The Netflix trailer for Monster Season 2 indicates that the narrative of Eric Menendez and Lyle Menendez will air in 2024. Given that Ryan Murphy's other series, including American Horror Story, prefer fall releases closer to Halloween, it seems likely that Monster Season 2 will release on September 21st, 2022. What do we know about the cast and story of Season 2 of Monster? The casting for Monster Season 2 is starting to take shape, with Nicholas Alexander Chavez and Cooper Koch slated to play Eric Menendez and Lyle, respectively. The historical narrative of the Menendez brothers was full of prominent and supporting characters, even if no other casting announcements have been made thus far. This creates intriguing casting possibilities. As Koch and Chavez are recent additions to Ryan Murphy's cast, it's probable that the Murphy mainstays won't make an appearance during the season. Rich corporate executive Jose Menendez and his wife Kitty were killed in their Beverly Hills den on August 20th, 1989, by their sons Eric and Lyle. Kitty was shot 10 times and Jose was shot 6. Lyle said to the authorities that he and his brother had been out and returned home to discover their parents had been slain. Since the police were already assembling evidence against Lyle and Eric Menendez after Eric confessed the murder to his therapist, Jerome Oziel, Lyle was taken into custody on March 8, 1990, and Eric surrendered himself 3 days later. Given how well reported the 2 trials of Eric Menendez and Lyle were, they will undoubtedly be the main focus of Monster Season 2. Leslie Abramson, the defense attorney, will be the big attraction even though the brothers recruited Robert Shapiro first. Her case rested on the Menendez brothers' claim that they killed their parents because their mother, Kitty, had physically abused them while their father, Jose, had abused them emotionally, physically, and sexually for the entirety of their lives. The prosecution maintained that the killings were carried out with financial gain in mind. The brothers said they shot their parents because they were afraid they would kill them first after they threatened to out their parents. Due to both the moving testimony of Lyle and Eric Menendez about their experiences being sexually abused as young children, ages 6 and 8, as well as strong evidence from defense witnesses regarding Jose's character, the first trial of the couple resulted in a deadlocked jury. Abramson failed to convince the second jury that the case was one of self-defense, for whatever reason. The Menendez brothers will thus be found guilty of first-degree murder in the second trial, and they will be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of release in Monster Season 2. What do we know about the trailer of Season 2? There are no pictures in the Monster Season 2 teaser that Netflix has published. Nonetheless, it does show the time and place of the crime before cutting to Lyle Menendez's actual 911 call to the authorities. Lyle claims in the conversation that his parents were shot and that they were killed. He says he just got home and didn't hear anything when asked what happened. The title, Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, and the unsettling 2024 release confirmation flash on the screen as he hangs up with the 911 operator. The teaser for Monster Season 2 at least shows that filming is underway, even though the entire trailer has not yet been released. What do we know about the Menendez brothers and why they were convicted? In March 1996, the Menendez brothers were found guilty of first-degree murder and given a life sentence without the possibility of release. In August 1989, Eric and Lyle Menendez were found guilty of killing their parents. The investigation established that the brothers killed their parents, Jose Menendez and Mary Louise, despite the brothers' claims that they had returned home one night to find them dead. 1993, following the start of the murder trial, the Menendez brothers admitted to killing their parents, but they also disclosed that the torture had been sexual for years. Lyle and Eric, according to the prosecutors, were pursuing the inheritance that would become theirs after their parents passed away. But the boys' confession to a therapist served as the main piece of evidence in the case. The brothers told the therapist that they killed their mother in order to put her out of her misery. At no point in their confession did they discuss the abuse. Because of this, determining whether or not the abuse had taken place is difficult. One of the main theories for the crime was that the Menendez brothers wanted to use their $14 million inheritance to fund their own venture. The Menendez brothers' initial trial, according to an LA Times report, sparked national discussions about parental abuse and children's safety in the home. The case became one of the most well-known true crime tales in American history due to the debate surrounding it. CNN revealed in May 2023 that a court determined Jose Menendez had been molesting his boys sexually as late as 1988. When their parents were discovered dead, Eric and Lyle Menendez were, respectively, 18 and 21 years old. The Menendez brothers were just 25 and 28 years old when they were found guilty, which was 7 years later. A few days prior to the murder, on August 18, 1989, the brothers are said to have bought shotguns. On August 20, 1989, Mary and Jose were shot to death inside their home. When Eric and Lyle got home, they told the 911 operator that their parents had died. But after their parents passed away, authorities discovered that the Menendez brothers were leading somewhat opulent lives. Their newly acquired wealth was being spent without restriction. Authorities also discovered a screenplay that Eric had written. The story raised more questions about a man who killed his parents in order to receive $157 million. Ultimately, the accusations and eventual conviction were the result of the Menendez brothers' confession to Oziel, their therapist. On August 17, 1989, Lyle claimed to have addressed his father about the abuse. Eric clarified that when he refused to take the sexual assault any longer, their father also threatened to hurt him physically and even with weapons. Jose was described as an overbearing father by a number of family members and acquaintances. It's also said that the Menendez brothers struggled to live up to their father's expectations. The Menendez brothers' trials and crimes are examined in the documentary Suburban Nightmare: The Menendez Brothers. The publication date was September 2022. A Netflix original film called Monsters: The Lyle and Eric Menendez Story will explore the convictions and atrocities committed by the Menendez brothers. The brothers are the subject of a Netflix original film called Monsters: The Lyle and Eric Menendez Story. It is anticipated that the show's production would end in 2024. What do you think about Monsters' upcoming second season? Do you believe that Season 2 will be able to live up to the fans' expectations? Please feel free to leave your thoughtful comments below. For more interesting stories and updates, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Goodbye!